All right, guys, so welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to kind of kick off the shop build series. This is something that's been going on for many years. If you know me, if you don't know me, I think I actually started this process way back in about 2012. So to my defense, it didn't take 2012 to now completely working nonstop. There was a lot of breaks in between this, a lot of things in life. I raised two kids. I got my bachelor's degree, business management during the situation. Did a lot of stuff during these years. So there was a lot of long, extended breaks. So a lot of the comments you see in the beginning, they were warranted. A lot of my friends and buddies, and they aggravated me if I was ever going to get this thing done. So I'm to a point now, I think I can go back and share some video, mostly a lot of pictures with some voiceovers, but I really want to share this process. We're going to break this down in a couple of different segments and show you the whole entire process of the shop build. So stay tuned and check it out. All right, let's get started. So as you can see above, this is what we started with. We're going to take you through this transition of this really basically a load of raw steel into the transformation of my dream shop. So stay tuned. We'll go through this video series. Probably a couple videos here. This was early on. Really didn't do a lot of videos, so we'll do the voiceovers and walk you through it. So the first thing that I really had to do, I ended up purchasing a 1978 John Deere 450 loader with a backhoe attachment. Used all of this to do all of my clearing and grading. I can tell you one thing is, you purchase an old piece of equipment, you will quickly become a master technician of working on equipment. See here are some of the trees that I pushed over. There were some very large pines. Reference, I'm 6'3", so that's a root ball there. We actually ended up taking out about 5 or 6 loads of very large pine. I gave those away to some friends of mine. Everything else that was left over, we had some pretty nice bonfires that we went through and burned everything and cleaned up. So the next step, after everything was cleared out, we had to start removing some dirt. Had a lot of cut that had to take place. There used to be an old home place here, so there's some power poles and things that was there that had to be cut out. It took literally weeks of being able to go through and dig all this dirt out and move it with a dump truck until we got a good foundation ready to prep the shop. Once we got that, you can see here, this final prep, aggravated a lot of my buddies here that wasn't too bad of a prep job for a wore out 78 450 to get it that smooth, but really in all consideration, that was a drug with an I-beam afterwards. The pins on that 450 were completely wore out, so it was just rough grading at the best. Okay, so the next step in this was to really sit down and kind of get some of these ideas out of my head on paper, so I could really get some dimensions as far as what my footers and everything needed to be for the foundation, as well as cut links for the steel, hole placements, locations, etc. As I went through this process, we really just kind of gave a rough idea in my head, and then I just kind of played it by ear as I went and changed things up on the fly. I really just kind of had an idea of what I wanted the main shop to look like, and the components that were needed, and then from there on out I just kind of went on as we went with the process and adjusted on the fly, and just kind of went with that process. So next we had to start the grueling process of cleaning all this steel up. It was all used. It was took out of a facility. The funny story is, I actually ended up working for this place as a maintenance and tooling manager later on. But we had to go through and clean all this steel up, cut all the I-beams off, grind it, get it prepared to start fabricating our beams. As you can see, I made me a couple little fixtures for the torch guides for the correct pitch. 312 pitch is what I put on this building. This made it a lot easier to go through and cut all the correct pitches and get ready to weld the plates on for the bolt-up connections. As you can see, basically these just clamp onto the side of the beams, and you use your torch just to use a torch guide to cut them in place. Saved a lot of grinding in the end. So when it come to fabbing up the base plates and end plates that goes on all the main beams for the steel building, I fabbed up this little setup here. Basically took some old door hinges, some square tubing, and my mag drill with an annular cutter made me a little fixture so I could drill all of my holes for the bolt-up connections. Then we took through after that and started welding all those on the vertical post as well as the main headers. This little setup worked pretty good. I've actually upgraded mag drills since then, but if you don't own one of these tools, if you're doing any kind of steel work, a mag drill and an annular cutter is probably one of the best things that you can have around. So after that, we moved on to finishing up the end plates on the main headers, the main truss part of the steel building, as well as welding on the purling clips. You can see in all these pictures here, I've got them all staged out. The purling clips are welded and everything is ready to go on the next step and move forward in the assembly process. So this is after one of those extended breaks that, as I talked about earlier in the video, you can see that grass has already grown back over the entire area where I graded out. So we're getting ready here, just lay out our footers, getting ready to pull our string lines or batter boards, get ready to drill all of our holes. I ended up using 24-inch round auger here to drill all the holes. We did that where the main column supports was at. In addition, we went through and dug a footer that we actually went back to form up and pour concrete. It's probably a little overkill, but I come back later on and we do some concrete block so I can get my metal away from the dirt. As you can see here, I borrowed my neighbor's mini excavator. It was probably just a little bit more than my 1500 Chevrolet was ready to pull, but he only lives about a half mile down the road, so we pulled it over and got everything laid out to go ahead and dig the footers and start forming those up. So the next thing we got in here, finished laying out the footers. We took in, got a boatload of 2x4s to form all the concrete forms up. Got my laser out. We shot all those into grade to make sure everything's perfectly level. Got everything lined up with the existing footers that we dug out, so we just have a nice straight edge to work off. We started laying the building out. You can see, go through a couple of these pictures. This is just a layout, forming everything up, getting it shot into grade. After this was all said and done, we did come back and rent a jumping jack to go through it, just compact the loose dirt that was in the bottom of these. Probably wasn't needed. I have a lot of slate here, so it's very, very hard to dig through anyways, but I went ahead and went the extra mile just to go through, just in case, to have the best foundation I could have up under this building. So last but not least, we got everything poured with concrete here. This was quite the ordeal. Me, my wife, my son, and one of my friends knocked this out probably on one of the hottest days of the year, and we do not do concrete. And this taught me that I no longer want to do any type of concrete in my life. I did actually do a little bit more concrete in this process of building the shop, but it is definitely not something that I want to do on a daily basis. As you can see here in this last picture, this is all of my structural anchor bolts epoxied in, ready for the steel to be stood up. So stay tuned for the next video and we'll show you some of the steel going up. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like what you see, please like and subscribe.